Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you to today's presentation on May's Progress Partner webinar. The topics today include ChefConf 2021. We'll go over that, product roadmap, and product updates. We want to thank everyone for taking time out of your day today to be here with us. And just as a quick note, we also, as we go through the different presentations, please feel free to type in any questions that you have in the Q&A section, and we'll make sure to answer all those questions for you. If you miss anything, don't worry. We are recording this, and we will be sending an on-demand recording when available. Then if you want to move over to slide 2, please. I'll start by introducing myself, Denise Podner, Partner Account Manager for SIs. And before introducing our guest speakers today, I also wanted to take a minute just to introduce our partner team. We've had some recent additions. I think it will be all very beneficial to our partners because we're really all here to, make it as easy as possible to work with us. So we have Ronak, who is our partner manager for channels. And he's been with us for a while now, so he's not necessarily a new timer. We also have Kalyan, who is, let me just get rid of that, in our operations. And again, really going to be focusing on making the process of working with us as easy as possible. We have Jeff Hadfield, who has been with us also for a while, but his focus is on platform partners. We have Manasa, who is our marketing partner development specialist, and she is, responsible for the monthly webinars and newsletters and any go-to-marketing events that we will be doing together. And then brand new to the team is Juan Abreu, who is our partner development manager. And he's focusing on platform manager or partners, and then also, really looking at how we can develop our product to best fit needs of our partners. So this is the team. Just wanted to take a second to introduce them to you. Benny, yeah, there we go. There's the agenda. As I said, we're going to be kind of talking about the ChefConf 2021 coming up. Our product roadmap and some new product SKUs. But really, I want to focus on, if we go to the next slide, on our guest speakers and, who will be presenting to you today. So we have Benny Vasquez, who is the manager of Chef Community and Developer Relations. And Benny is responsible for many things Chef. That's the best way I can say it. She's going to be talking to you today a lot about ChefConf, how you can get involved, and just how you can give us feedback on what you want to be hearing at the ChefConf conference this year in September. Our next guest speaker is Shalini Thakur, Senior Technical Program Manager. And she'll be talking to us on how to submit ideas for our roadmap. And then also a little bit about the end of life for Chef Manage and Backend. And I just really want to emphasize we have a new process now that we are part of Progress. And that is with our submitting ideas for our roadmap. And this is really important. It's a much more formal process, but it's one that is taken very seriously and one that we really want to hear your feedback on. So, again, this is being recorded. So if maybe you're not the person who usually submits ideas to us, if you can pass this on to others within your organization so they understand this process, greatly appreciated, because like I say, it's really important to us that we get your feedback on where you see our products should be going for your customers and in the future. And our last speaker is Dan Hamstein, and he is VP of Chef Product Marketing. And yes, we have changed our SKUs numbers again, but he's here to share all this information with you, so you have the most current information, and you can see how we really have changed our packaging, the packaging of our product line, to really move into a more solution-based offering. And I think it will really line up with, how you're talking to customers out there, and also really line up with a lot of our marketing messaging. So those are our guest speakers, and now like to bring it over to Benny.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Denise. Like Denise mentioned, I'm going to talk to you about Chef Conf this year. We started the conversation a bit last month, so this is mostly just updates. There are 4 things that I really want to talk about. The first one, I know a lot of you are involved pretty heavily in our external community and in contributing to the software and that kind of stuff. If you have encountered anybody that has done great things for us, for the community, for the software, for anything like that, the Awesome Chef Awards are the way that we recognize that on a regular basis. If you haven't seen Awesome Chef Awards, there's a website you can go to that kind of describes what they are, and it shows you the history of them and that kind of stuff, and it shows you how to submit your suggestions there. We also have a soft launch of our ChefConf website that should go live tomorrow, and registration is going to open next week sometime. And then our talk submissions have also opened. We're using Sessionize this year to manage our talks and to schedule things and that kind of stuff. So if you have an idea, or you know of anybody who's done something cool, or anything like that, get it in there. And if you have any questions or encounter any problems with that, you know how to find us. We can answer any questions. We are accepting talks until the end of June, but we'll start picking them as early as June 10th. So if you've got good ideas, definitely get them in early. And then if you or anybody you know is interested in sponsorships, we will have the prospectus live, I'm going to say in June. It could be as early as next week, but it'll be sometime in June for sure. And if you've got questions about ChefConf, you can either email us there, or you can find me on community Slack or anything like that. It's pretty easy to get a hold of me. And now that was all I've got, so I'm going to hand it off to Shalini.
Thanks, Benny. Hello, everyone. So as Dennis mentioned, that this is a new process, which is, submission of ideas, which is being practiced in the engineering teams at Chef post the acquisition. So I'm just going to give you an insight into that. And then if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A channel. Okay, so the first aspect I want to talk about it, what is the need what is the need you see to submit an idea, what an idea is, how do you go about submitting an idea, and what happens after you've submitted your idea, how does it get lined up on the roadmap, on the product management side. So the first thing before I get into why do you need to submit an idea, what is essentially an idea? An idea is, it could be a feature request. It could be something you've heard from a customer. It is something you see is a market trend, and you want that, even on the Chef product offerings, whether it's like app management, infra, or any of the product offerings, what we have, you want it to be included there, or, something to be improved on. So an idea could be a gamut of things, and, we want to be receptive to what you bring to the table, and bring that for product management to try it, and see a way that it can be delivered back to customers, irrespective whether they are internal or external. And that helps to make our products richer in terms of getting your feedback. So I think it's critical that we want to hear what you want to say, and the idea submission will be an input that will help give us that transparency into the system. So on the goal perspective, what we are doing is after you submit an idea, I will just walk you through, how you submit an idea. Our intent is that, all these requests, when they come into the system, how are they tracked and managed, and, what is the regular cadence or a flow of an idea. And, there are places where, ideas might not fit into the engineering cycles or the product cycles, or don't fit into the strategy. So, our goal basically looks at end-to-end flow for that idea. Okay, so there's a very simple way that you can submit an idea. This is the website, which is our public portal, the Chef Software Ideas aha.io. And once you log in with your credentials, you can see the add a new idea option, and then it just asks you more, to give a brief on what the idea is and more details, kind of a thing. So what is critical when you submit an idea is, if you can be specific in terms of providing a customer use case, or trying to address a customer pain point which you have heard, or something which might be which might be a very different or a unique thing for us in the market. I think those are the details which will help product management when they see into this idea to try it and evaluate it and have more weightage compared to other ideas. Even if you have aspects of, what revenues it could generate or other aspects, I think the more details you add to the idea, I think that is how good, it has weightage for product management to evaluate and try that. So what happens after you submit an idea, right? So you go to add a new idea, add in the details, and it will start showing up on the public portal. If you see here, if you see on the screen, you do see different status, which is the triage process and how the idea flows from each of the other things. And I will just walk you what happens, after you submit an idea. Okay. So I'll just maybe take a minute to quickly compartmentalize this. So if you see on the left, there are different ways that customers can submit ideas. So one of them is the public portal, which all of you can use. There is the AHA system. The AHA system is the mastership which handles all the ideas which come from the public portal, from the support line, from the sales channels, which is Salesforce and Zendesk, and everything gets consolidated into AHA. So once everything is consolidated into AHA, it is categorized per product offering, kind of a thing, which is like application management, app delivery, infra. So whatever product offerings we have. So when you submit an idea, it will it does ask you which product idea you want to submit. So once it comes into the system, the first default status an idea gets is a new status. So after it gets into the new status, the product management team, has a cadence of like within a couple of weeks, they have to look at these new ideas which have come into that AHA system, and every PM's, who's mapped, who is part of that product, has to see whether it fits into the immediate backlog or it is for immediate planning, kind of a thing, and then move accordingly the new status into the futuristic ones. So after it is on the new thing, there are only two aspects. If the idea fits into the product strategy or the product roadmap based on the details of the idea, it will come exactly into the engineering cycle and will come into a planning backlog or a planned kind of a status where it is ready for engineering to start working on it, and it will be vetted out. The other aspect is, if based on the timelines, if an idea cannot be worked on immediately in the quarter, then it goes into the next state, which is called currently declined. So currently declined means that it cannot be taken up in the immediate quarter, and out of scope is a little farther, that for the immediate and the next quarter, this idea cannot be picked up based on whatever the product strategy is, and other aspects like team bandwidth and the engineering pipeline. So once it comes into the planning backlog, engineering then works with other cross-functional teams and inter-teams, kind of a thing, and then it will be completed. So the whole cycle, the status and everything. So when you will be able to see this on the public portal as your idea moves into different status, you can subscribe to an idea, and then you will be able to see the different state the idea moves in. In case you have any questions or anything, there is an option to comment. So if you're waiting on response, or if you haven't seen any change on your idea for very long time, I think please feel free to go to the comments box and request for any feedback you need on that specific idea. So that's how the delivery goes from new planning backlog and planned, and then the same will get delivered to the customer. And then every quarter, the field and the product management team come together and see the things which they have not they haven't taken in this quarter. So they will go into the currently declined, out of scope and archived status ideas, and just come back and then do a revision exercise, seeing that, okay, does it make sense now that, can this be taken if there is any change of product strategy per quarter? So on a quarterly basis, any ideas which are in currently decline, out of scope or archived are vetted out between product and the field stakeholders. And then, it moves futuristic based on the same thing. So this is how the process is, and it's very important that if you want something on the product, I think this is the channel you should strongly use. And I want that you all go ahead and submit ideas which you feel will make great value addition to our products. Yeah. So that's on the idea part. And quickly coming on, the EOL strategy for Chef Manage and Backend. I think last year at Chef Conf, we had announced that, we'll be EOLing the Chef Manage and Backend products by December 2021. But after the acquisition, there has been feedback from customers and, the impact of what it will bring and, the migration effort. And based on that, the EOL date has been moved to December 31st. So specifically, it is for Chef Manage 2.5.x and the Chef Backend 2.x, all versions of this. So the end of life dates have changed. And because most of the capabilities of Chef Manage and Backend will come into the automate side. This is what the scope will look like when automate starts to deliver releases. So it's already in the pipeline for Chef Automate, and team is making good progress of having bits and pieces of Chef Manage already being bundled in current automate versions and being released to the field. So this is what the EOL for Chef Manage and Backend stands next year, December 22. And there's a blog which has all the details. So you can refer to this blog for more details. Yeah. So that's all I have on the EOL dates. If you have any questions on this, Sudarshan is on the panel today, and he can answer any questions you have on the EOL date specifically. Yeah. That's all I had. Dan, do you want to go ahead and?
All right, thanks, Shalini. Are we ready to talk about pricing and SKUs? I know we are. All right. Everything look good there? Am I sharing the right, right screen, I hope? Perfect.
Yes, Dan. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, all right, so I'll give you a quick update on our SKU structure and pricing. And we know there's been a lot of change over the last couple of years, so thank you all for bearing with us through some of these changes. And actually a lot today I think is going to be a review, but we have made a couple of changes just to make things a bit easier, and I'll dive into that right now. So the SKU update that we're talking about right now, hopefully everyone is well aware that in 2020, we repackaged our portfolio into what we refer to as workload aligned SKUs. And now we've had a bit of time in the market selling these SKUs. So we're making one tweak to what we've been doing. Well, you can break it down into two parts. One is that we're creating a new SKU, which is called Chef Compliance Automation. And for those of you who've been selling with us for a while, you will recognize that this is quite similar to the old Effortless Infrastructure suite that we had moved on from in our previous changes last year. And in concert with that, we eliminated the compliance remediation SKU, which was a bit confusing, frankly. It included a limited use license of info, which we could not enforce. So it wasn't really something that was getting any uptake in the market anyway. And we think this is a better way for us all to kind of optimize value and for both us and customers. Now the new SKU is live and up and running. So these are the things that we should all be selling going forward. So a little bit of detail on that SKU. As I mentioned, it's called Chef Compliance Automation, and the bill of materials, the elements underneath that include automate, infra, inspec. You get premium content for both audit and remediation, and then you get a limited use license of Chef Habitat. And essentially what that means is if you want to deliver infra and inspec with Habitat in what some folks refer to as the effortless pattern, then you can do that without having to pay extra for Habitat. You cannot use Habitat to deliver other applications, though. That would be an upgrade to the next SKU, which is our enterprise automation stack. So the list price on this is $189 per license unit, which is a node or target. And the times to sell this SKU, there's a few things. One is for effortless infrastructure suite renewals. Typically, those are going to go into this SKU. If you have a customer who is on an older deal where they had bought Chef Automate when Automate was the closed source thing that we sold, and a lot of those customers bought Automate for detect and correct, and they wanted to get access to our audit compliance content. So those customers would flow very nicely into this SKU as well. And then just in general, organization that wants to do the detect and correct use case, but not go as far as delivering applications further up the stack, this is the SKU for them. So how does that look when we kind of put all of this together? There's a bit of a graphic that lays this out to show that if you want to configure infrastructure, you can move into a workload aligned SKU called Chef Infrastructure Management. And I'll detail what's in that, but essentially that's an Chef Infra-centric offering. If you want to maintain compliance and you want to do that on the audit side, there's Chef Compliance Audit, which is inspec along with the audit content and automate. And then there's an upsell that we maintain, which gives you access to the remediation content as well, which is kind of a lightweight remediation method for those compliance audit findings. But both of those then flow into this new SKU that I'm talking about today, which is Chef Compliance Automation. And that's the full detect and correct, full configuration management that you get as a part of that SKU. For those who are looking to deliver applications, we do have a product that we released late last year called Chef App Delivery, which is Habitat centric. The reason there's a dotted line around this one is that for a lot of folks who are doing app delivery, they're really going to want to be in Chef Enterprise Automation Stack, which is kind of the ultimate, kind of endpoint of this path through our suite for most customers. Enterprise Automation Stack is going to give you everything, and so that way you have full compliance capabilities along with application delivery and infrastructure management when you go into that SKU. And then, of course, we maintain the path for those who are managing desktops and laptops with desktop management and desktop compliance. Now, the way these are structured is that customers are buying these workload-aligned products, and then they gain entitlements to the component pieces that make up those products. So if you buy Chef Infrastructure Management, Chef Compliance Audit, what have you, those will include entitlement to Chef Automate as a dashboard. It will include entitlement to some combination of Chef Infra, Chef Inspec, and Chef Habitat as the automation engines. It will include some entitlement to premium content as well as support through Chef. And the way that looks when you put it on the grid is like this. Across the top are the workload aligned products. So Chef Infrastructure Management, App Delivery, Compliance Audit, etc. And then the check marks indicate which entitlements a customer will have based on those workload aligned products that they've bought. You'll notice in a couple of places there's an L for a limited use license. On the Habitat row, I think I described that before, where if you have a limited use license for Habitat, that means you can deliver Chef software products with Habitat. So if you've packaged the infra client, for example, with Habitat, you have a license to use Habitat in that way, but not to deliver other applications that way. On the infra and inspect side for desktop, there's a couple of limited use licenses as well. The reason those are limited is those are specifically to manage desktop devices, things like laptops or kiosks or whatever is being managed in that way, as opposed to data center assets or something that you'd be managing with infra with the other SKUs. Okay, and then finally, I'll just wrap it up to say, these are the renewal scenarios. Many Chef customers, many of your customers will be in the effortless infrastructure suite, which is something we've moved away from in the past year with our workload aligned repackaging that we've done. So there's sort of 4 paths for an effortless infrastructure suite customer. The preferred path is to move into the new SKU that we have talked about today, which is Chef Compliance Automation. They get all the same entitlements, but they also get the remediation content, which is why there's a $24 a node delta between these two. There is that additional value in this new SKU. It also gives you an opportunity to have a conversation or to do some negotiation with a customer who maybe they're at a pretty low price point, and we want to bring them up a bit higher. Or there's a situation where you want to help a customer feel more, want to help a customer just feel more satisfied and kind of give them a little bit of additional value through this SKU. The second path is if they really don't want remediation content, don't want to pay for that, you move into 2 separate SKUs, infrastructure management and compliance audit, which then can come together later as an upsell into the remediation content with Chef Compliance Automation, or move them into the enterprise automation stack in total. So one thing to note here is the price difference is not much. It's almost the same price as Chef Compliance Automation. So there aren't a lot of cases where you probably want a customer to do that. The third is if they're not doing anything with our compliance content or with inspect and they don't want that entitlement, then frankly, they were probably in the wrong SKU to begin with, being an effortless infrastructure suite. But you can move them into Chef Infrastructure Management. It's a lower price per node, of course, because they won't have inspect, they won't have content. But if a customer is really insistent on going down this path, you probably want to have a conversation with them anyway, just to make sure they understand the value of compliance, because there's more than $40 a node value in doing compliance and using our content in most customer environments anyway. So that's a good conversation to have. And then finally, if they're really a more mature shop and they're looking at application delivery use cases, or maybe they're even doing this already with Chef Infra, it's a good opportunity to have a conversation about Habitat and just move them into enterprise automation stack, which last year when we did the repackaging, we brought down the price of enterprise automation stack, and we also simplified it to be just per node pricing, no more service instances. So it's a good time to have those conversations and look at bringing a customer into the full stack and really taking advantage of all the Chef technology that we have to offer. Okay, so that's all I had to share today. Hopefully most of that was an update, and hopefully that'll help you in your customer conversations and with the selling that we're doing together. So happy to field any questions that people may have now, but you can always reach out to us going forward as well.
Let's just give a minute or two for all the questions. Okay, we have one. How do I know the current status of my submitted idea? Shalini, do you want to take that?
Sure. As I mentioned, after you submit it, there's a value from that. So change on the private those things change and then send you a notification. So that's how you can track.
Hey, Shalini, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me fine, Dennis?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay. So once you submit an idea, you have the option to subscribe to an idea, and any changes or anything which happens in the AHA system on that idea will show up on the public portal that the idea status is changed. So that's how you will come to know the idea changes and where they are in the pipeline currently.
Great, thank you.